If your team got guaranteed money, tell them call me.
Whoop. Make me say, my. I done been around the world.
Yeah, I was made for this.
Player Performance with J.A. Cavalier.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to NBA Player Performance on this Thursday, May 8th, 2025. It is the Shark and Shuey. Jay is cashing tickets around the world as always. We are here to talk some ball. We left you guys yesterday saying the Knicks might beat the Celtics. The world is shocked. We are not. Luke, we're glad to be back. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, thanks for holding it down yesterday. Shark is in the Minnesota Timberwolves blue. You can't deny it. The hat, the shirt, it matches. It's a vibe. I'm wearing some neutrals. I guess this could be Timberwolves green, but I think it hints at one thing. Minnesota tonight, Minnesota big. We'll break it down further, but I'm excited. One big game, one bounce back opportunity for this T-Wolves team, and we like it for a lot of reasons.
One big game, one opportunity to dominate 6 straight road wins to open the second round. We don't think so tonight. NBA Player Performance starts now.
I lit the bright lights, the type, the crowd lights, where you at, ballers? Ladies love me and men, they want a baby, they pay to come see me, where you at, ballers?
Thursday's theme is money. One game on the card, Western Playoffs, second round, game 2 in Minnesota. Warriors visiting the Timberwolves. Line currently at 10.5. Total very low at 201.5. When I opened up this card this morning, my eyes lit up and I said, you know what, Shark? Welcome to right where you love to be. Home game 2. Team lost in the first game. They can't lose the second one, and they're favored by more in the second game. Luke, it's going to be back. We got props. What do you got in this game?
I'm going to start things off, hot and heavy, and it correlates with the Timberwolves tonight. I'm fading Jimmy Butler. I really am. I think even if people are on Timberwolves tonight, some guys might think Butler's going to go off. I simply don't. I don't think that he's going to have a huge game tonight by any means of the word. The Golden State Warriors team total is at 95. For Butler to cover his line tonight, he'd have to score 26 or more % of the Warriors' points against a T-Wolves team that's going to focus on him and force anyone else to shoot the ball. I simply don't see him getting it done tonight. He hasn't got it done on the road in the playoffs so far. He's under this line in 4 of 5 games so far on the road in the playoffs. And in game 1, he only scored 20. Curry was out. He didn't really go off too much. I don't expect it again tonight against a very, very hungry Timberwolves team. I haven't projected for 21 or less. His line's 24.5. I love me a Jimmy Butler fade tonight. It's T-Wolves by a lot, but it's Butler under 24.5. One official free play already. Book it.
Yeah, I have a lot to discuss in this game. I don't usually break out this shirt and this hat unless it's a massive occasion. I was saying to Luke, we could get almost courtside seats in Minnesota tonight for right around $500. I mean, if this was Miami, New York, Chicago, LA, or Dallas, we're hovering in the 10 grand or higher range. Minnesota people, this is a seat for the people. Get in your gym and let's hype this team up. Dropping my free play, my top play of the card here, Minnesota minus 10.5. And when you really look at this, as I said, this is far more than just Anthony Edwards' 2025 Wolves. This is historically great NBA basketball to buy. You lose home game 1. They were off a break. They hadn't played in a week, and they came out and played absolutely terribly. Now they get to sit at home overnight, 2 days, get chirped by the international media, the U.S. domestic media, their coach, the owner, the fans themselves, and they get to come back and prove to everybody that this is the team that beat Denver, who were the reigning champs in the second round last year. And I'm looking at a lot of these quotes coming from the press conference the other day. Chris Finch, I honestly wasn't familiar with this guy. I knew, of course, he was the coach, but I didn't really know his personality. He's in the press conference calling his team diabolical. For those of you guys who don't know what that means, it means possessed by the devil, Diablo. Not a fan of how they played the other night. And if you look at the first quarter and leading into the second quarter, the team was just absolutely abysmal. 20 points in the first quarter, 11 in the second quarter. The best spots in sports are when you get great teams who just played absolutely terrible ball and they're coming back. This is an absolute banger spot. I have a lot more information on this, but I'm going to throw it back to Luke as we go back and forth here. Guys, take the Wolves at 10.5, and I'll give you some more comments in a minute. But, Luke, I want to go back to the player props and fading the Warriors. Another point to fade the Warriors tonight is not just Steph Curry being out of the lineup and Jimmy Butler obviously having to take on pretty much the entire offensive load. It's the fact that Draymond Green in game one came out with 14 points in the first 18 minutes, 4 of 5 from 3. I was on here that day saying, don't forget Draymond was the National Player of the Year in college at Michigan State. I mean, maybe he was turning back the clock to 2010. He's up there in Minnesota. He's, where's Izzo? I'm hanging out. I think he's going to have a shit game tonight. I love the under for his points. Luke, any thoughts?
I do too, because he started to cool off finally. He was, I think, 4 of 5 from 3, which is like insane for a guy that usually makes like 1 or 2 a game, and can sometimes go cold and not make any. Then he doesn't make one the whole second half. I think he's 0 for 5. So he's cooling off. He's going to continue the downtrend. I love it, Shark. In that game, you hinted at the T-Wolves starting off so slow. They were 0 of 13 from 3-point range to start the game. They're simply not going to do that. And Anthony Edwards was really cold to start. I think 1 of 10 or 0 of 10. It was wild. He's going to be smart with his shots tonight from the get-go. He's not going to come out chucking. He's going to be efficient, attack the rim. I'm confident in that, and hit down a couple open threes. That's what we're going to look at for some value. It's really cold shooting. Minnesota 17% from 3 for the game. Just nuts. Other props that I do like, we could get into. Let's stay in the Warriors. There are 1 or 2 spots that I actually don't mind an over here. You can look at guys like Gary Payton Jr. or Gary Payton II. I love his lines tonight. They're showing over lines for him because he's going to play more minutes. And he kind of runs all over the court. He does a little bit of everything. So I wouldn't mind getting into his like combo stat lines. You could do points, rebounds, assists, points, assists, those types of categories. He'd be an overlook that I have, one of the very few on Golden State. Other than that, I suppose I can toss it back to you, but I have been a Dante DiVincenzo fan lately in terms of his line value, and he is cold. This man cannot hit a shot. 1 of 7 again in game one. So at some point here, you're going to see DiVincenzo go off. I just don't know when it's going to be, but he's going to knock down a bunch of threes and get hot. He's going to get that upward progression here shortly. I just don't know if it's tonight's game or not. Do you have a take there on DiVincenzo?
No, but when you said that, it reminded me of Malik Beasley in the previous round, where we said this guy is a good shooter. He just can't hit, he can't hit the broadside of a barn. And then he finally breaks out. I think Beasley did go over once, maybe, or maybe he did. I don't know if he ever got over, but he did start shooting better. He had that one heat check game. He did have like 18 in the first half. He hit the buzzer beater to close the half.
He made like 6 threes in the first half. Yep.
Exactly. And we were on here last week and the week before having the discussion with Beasley. We just kept saying, stay the course. Like, you don't want to necessarily have a chase model with betting where you stay betting the same thing and you just keep upping your units. Like you lose 1, so you bet 2, you lose 2, so you bet 3, and you keep going up. The point is, at some point it's going to hit, you're going to get money back, but you do get like highly mortgaged out, like in an aggressive way. But I wouldn't disagree. And going back, I just want to talk the psychology of this game on both sides. I think if we go back to round 1 with Golden State, we actually have an incredible pattern here in terms of how they're performing game 1 road versus game 2 road. The game the other night, the final score was 99-88. Okay, just remember that. Game 1 at Houston, Golden State 95-85. 10-point win, 11-point win. Golden State high 90s, opponent mid 80s. It's almost identical game, and it gets even more precise than that. Game 1 at Houston, actually came out in the first quarter 21-18. Game 1 here, Minnesota won the first quarter 20-18. Almost identical score. Second quarter, round 1 at Houston, Golden State 29-13. Plus 16, the opponent scores 13. Second quarter the other night, 26-11. Almost an identical game. This is the fascination I have with handicapping human patterns and frequencies. It's almost an identical game 1. Golden State at Houston, Golden State at Minnesota in terms of the exact quarter-to-quarter scores. So then you say to yourself, what happened in game 2? Golden State at Houston. Houston 109, Golden State 94. And Houston came out and throttled them. One layer deeper, Game 5 at Houston, Wednesday, April 30th. Houston 131, Golden State 116. That was the game. Houston was down 3-1. And I gave you guys my biggest play of the season on Houston as a 4-unit special. And I told you guys that day, this is where you want to buy these teams. And I said to Luke before the show, but when you see 6 straight road teams win, and it finally stopped last night with the Thunder blowing out Denver, if you guys really think about this in detail, the closest teams in the West to each other are basically the Thunder with SGA, super young, superstar quality, hasn't won a title yet, and the Wolves. Anthony Edwards, young superstar, hasn't won a title yet. And you go to Denver and you go to the Warriors, older team who's won a title on the road, stole game 1. I honestly think Minnesota could win this game tonight by 30 points. Luke, we got one game, so we got a ton of conversation. Any more props or any angles? You agree with the hat? You agree with the take? I think you do.
I love it all. I really do. I don't know what the line would be for Minnesota to win by 25 plus, but I honestly could see it happening. The only issue, of course, is the book's projected to be a lower scoring game, but I really think that emphasis is on Golden State scoring like 80 or 85. Like I really think that's within margin here. I know that may sound outrageous because their team total is 95, but Minnesota should shut them down and shut them down significantly. So you could get funky with some extra lines here. What else do I like in the prop market? I don't want to give away my entire VIP card. So I hinted at some names. I like guys like Naz Reid, in the prop market here. If the game gets out of control, Minnesota's second lineup, you could look at an Alexander Walker. I know you've been high on him before, Shark, for a buy low. You can get his point line at 4.5. I mean, that is very tempting to me, to be honest. As a live prop on the show, I'll probably get that in our parlay if we do one, although we only have one game. But Alexander Walker.
Just one point on that. Going back to the OKC game last night, of course, they put up almost 150 points. I had given out Jalen Williams to go over. He didn't go over, but it was because the game was such a blowout. Their entire second unit went over in their points mark.
I had Wiggins on VIP and Caruso under because he was a starter, he's their 6th guy. So, yeah, you can take huge advantage. Wiggins went way over. He went over in the first half. I mean, so I think you could see something like that with an Alexander Walker. Great buy low here. 4.5 points. The dude has to make 2 buckets. Like, I mean, it's not outrageous, especially if the game's out of control. Naz Reid, I guess, in that bucket, he's not quite in that bucket because they probably wouldn't play him down the stretch in a blowout because he's so important off the bench. I'm trying to see what other lines you can even get. I don't know if you can get much of their second unit, to be completely honest.
You know what I think could be a good game to look at? Obviously, we have time here. Something I also wanted to mention was just the way that Minnesota plays in these desperation home games. I'll go back to last year. They only had 2. Second round last year, if you guys remember, they played Denver. The road team won the first 4 games in round 2 last year. So in game 5, it was game 6, Minnesota actually had lost 3 straight games to Denver, and they were on the brink of elimination. If they had lost that game, they were going home in game 6. They played their best game of the playoffs. It was Thursday, May 16th last year. Minnesota 115, Denver 70. Absolute blowout. And it was early and often, but the key point there, the starters did not play in the fourth quarter. So there you go again. It's not only what we saw last night with the Thunder and SGA and the hammer down there. This is what Minnesota did in their peak desperation spot last year at home against Denver. And we just told you, we think Denver and Golden State are very similarly graded within this Western dynamic here. So I think literally, I'd have to look at it, and we have time, so let's look at it. Who are the guys that would play garbage time for the Wolves?
So yeah, I was pulling it up as you're talking. And so I think books are showing us that it's going to be a blowout in that capacity too. You can't get a lot of their bench guys. So literally by far the best bench value, hands down, Alexander Walker. I love it. I'm giving away live. It's not even on my VIP, but it probably should be. 4.5 points is a wild value. DiVincenzo and Naz Reid are the first 2 off the bench. So they could sit in addition to that. Other than that, though, Shark, Terrence Shannon Jr. would play a ton of minutes if it's a blowout. You can't bet on his lines. I know he actually does produce quite well in those opportunities. Jalen Clark, Joe Ingles, Luka Garza. That would probably be their really blowout lineup. You can't bet on any of those guys. I think there's a reason for that. I think books don't want to have liability out there. So perfect scenario, backing up what we're saying here for the T-Wolves. But yeah, I mean, if you're going anywhere, it's got to be Alexander Walker. If you could get a line on Shannon Jr., that's where I'd go. DiVincenzo's a look, but again, he's kind of almost he plays starter minutes. So just all in all to say, I like Alexander Walker.
Okay, so I'm looking at the game last year that I just mentioned where Minnesota blew out Denver 115-70. In that game, Edwards had a great game. He had 27. His plus-minus in that game was plus 43. Way to go, Ant. Here we go. Let's go. The rest of the team just was right alongside that, but the next best point differential in the game was Rudy Gobert. He was plus 30. So that just gives you a snapshot to how effective Anthony Edwards is going to be tonight. I honestly think Edwards could get a triple-double tonight. I think he's going to be all over the court. We were talking about Finch in the press conference calling his team diabolical, and he had like a really detailed, like 10-minute plus press conference. That was the one takeaway I thought was just kind of funny because I wasn't expecting him to say that. Like, because I felt like these coaches don't use words like that. Oh, the Shark talks like that. Come on. But when he said that, he said our transition game was just diabolical. And I was like having breakfast, and I was like, wait, what? And I like rewound the video. It's like notes. Great quote, bro. But in that game, in terms of the reserves, crazily enough, the reserves didn't score that much. It looks like they didn't really pull the starters, even though they were up like 45 in that game. That I guess Finch is that kind of coach. Like he's just like
maybe he's just like I'm just going all out, hammer him. Yeah, it could be.
Like, let's set a record here. Beat him by 75. Edwards played 34 minutes. Mike Conley played 31.
Did Alexander Walker score in that game?
Here you go. This is fantastic. Alexander Walker did get garbage minutes. He got 17 minutes, and he did have 9 points, 3 for 5 from the three-point line. And your guy Luka Garza actually did score 8 points.
See, I mean, I don't think you can bet on him, which is a travesty. It's a shame. But you can bet on Alexander Walker. I just bet on him while we're on the show. I'm not lying. I think it's great value. It's 4.5 points. Like, if I lose, I can live with that because I think it's a blowout. I think he plays 20 minutes, so 15, 20. So
yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, really, this is just aligning for just an absolute hammer. And just another psychological point on the Warriors. Like, They weren't supposed to win this game even if Steph Curry was playing. It's crazy because I said there's like funeral games. Usually funeral games are when a team's on the brink of elimination and they just don't have any energy left and they get blown out like Miami did in round 1 against Cleveland in the closeout game. This is a funeral game from the standpoint of like the injury is like so catastrophic and demoralizing. Like, I don't think they play inspired here at all. Like, I think that they, to a degree, know they stole a game. It's going to be really hard to steal too. I mean, what the Knicks did last night was like historical stuff. And same with Indiana. But Indiana less impressive than the Knicks because Cleveland was missing a lot of starters in that game. This rarely ever happens where a team wins 2 road games against a high seed in the second round. They know that. And like Steve Kerr's a really smart coach. Like if you listen to the Netflix show on the Olympic team, like some of the speeches he gives to his players, I think are like incredibly smart because it's so hard to coach a team like that where it's all superstars. You kind of have to find this happy medium of like propping them up and making them feel great while also chopping them down and like keeping them centered. It's like incredibly difficult coaching psychology. I think he just knows the moment. And like when he first spurned the Knicks, if you guys remember, Kerr originally took the Knicks job and then he quit like 3 days later. He pulled like a full Belichick Jets to the Patriots move. Then he went to the Dubs, but I thought he was just like title chasing kind of. Like I thought he was like, fuck the Knicks. The Knicks suck. The Warriors have Curry, Thompson, Draymond. Like I'm just going to go like ride these guys to titles. But now I do respect Kerr. Point being, I think he knows the storm is coming tonight. Like I wrote down, like they're entering the Wolves' den tonight. Like they know it's coming. So the point is, I could honestly see him just like sitting the starters for like the second half and being like, let's reserve energy so we're ultra fresh when we get these guys at home, game 3 and game 4. And I'll throw it back to you to have second. That's exactly what he did in game Game 5 at Houston.
Against Houston. I was just going to say that. He did do this. Yeah.
Yeah, they were down like 35, and he just pulled the starters in the second half, and that was it. So I think you're going to see, like, as I said, like a funeral game, demoralized play, also awareness of the moment that they're not going to win this game. Therefore, why waste energy? If you're not going to actually win, they're not trying to cover the spread. So it's not like they're going to grind it so they cover 10.5. If they're not going to win, like as I said a couple of times with football and basketball in the regular season, like I could make a complete argument here that they could actually make a legit point to just write to the league and say we forfeit tonight. It's it. We're not showing up. We forfeit. We'll see you in Golden State. Because why waste your energy if you're not going to win? Look,
if it wasn't the playoffs, they would probably do that. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we saw it in Houston. That's what I was going to say. He'll pull him early if he needs to. You'll see guys like Pat Spencer come on the court, and you're like, oh, it's a little early for this guy to be playing ball. But I think that could happen easily tonight. The only way the Warriors could stay in this game, in my opinion, and it's not going to happen, is if Buddy Hield goes like 7 of 8 for 3 to start the game. He's about the only heat check that could keep them in this game. And I don't think that's going to happen. He's been shooting the ball well, not going to lie. Of course, we saw him in game 7. Hell of a performance, Buddy. I appreciate you. You're a good dude, and he's hilarious in press conferences. But I don't think he's going, 7 of 8, 9 of 10 tonight from 3. And if he doesn't, where are the points coming from? I know they can move the ball, but, man, I just don't see it happening.
No, and, just on that, like you saw what Minnesota did in the fourth quarter in game 1. They played their highest level of defense. And you guys who follow Minnesota, I learned this watching that game. I knew Minnesota was a great fourth quarter team in the regular season. They backdoored a ton of spreads, huge in the fourth quarter. They had the best fourth quarter point per game differential in the league in the regular season, plus 8.4 points in the fourth quarter, which is incredible domination. Point being here, anytime Minnesota wants to turn up the energy for a 12-minute block, it doesn't have to be in the fourth quarter. It's going to be the first quarter tonight because this is when they need it. They need to set the tone. Minnesota can throttle a team when they turn up their defensive intensity. I honestly think the Warriors might score less than 15 points in the first quarter tonight. I think it's going to be an absolute just lockdown, high-energy type of game. And on that, I don't think the Warriors are going to be able to score the ball really at all. So I honestly see this game somewhere around like 112 to like 80 or something like that.
Yeah, I love it. And so TG Proby said Pat Spencer props are available. If you can tell us what book they're available on, because to be honest, I was looking for him. I do expect Pat Spencer to play a lot tonight. And when he's on the court for Golden State in the garbage time, which we're hoping happens tonight, and I do think will happen, he even gets minutes sometimes without. He is not afraid to shoot. So if you can get Pat Spencer props, honestly, sign me up. I would VIP that if I could, but I can't find it on any books. So please, in the comments, let me know what book that is, TG Proby. I would love to add on to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because we're going into such detail in terms of like the ultra specific game flow we expect here. I think we're actually going to get a good parlay out of this game. Like, this is one game. I think we can actually get a 6-legger. And on that, let's do best bets. Thursday's theme is money. I got the hat on. Luke has the shirt on. Maybe just coincidentally, it's a beautiful print. Luke, best bets.
Yeah, my best bet. Since it's only one game, I'm not going to just give you my free play again of Jimmy Butler. I do love that play a lot, but my best bet is going to be Gary Payton of the Warriors over 9.5 points and assists. He's going to run all over the court tonight, play probably 28, 30 plus minutes, and he's going to at least dish the ball a few times. And the man can get out in transition. He's one of the guys that I do think cuts to the rim really well. Could knock down a 3 or 2. That's Gary Payton, the second, over 9.5 points and assists. It's an obscure PA line there, Shark. Book it.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I mean, obviously the Warriors might score 80. Somebody's got to score 10, right? I mean, like, it is what it is. So my top play, this is also a VIP play. I'm giving you a top play because it's one game and we got to talk about something. So we're not going to come out here and, BS you guys. This is an elite spot. Timberwolves stand the hell up at home. I bet Floyd Mayweather is going to be courtside, sitting next to A-Rod. As I said, you can get courtside seats for like $1,000, fourth row for $500. Get in there, people. Turn the energy up. Anthony Edwards, you want to be Jordan? Show us something tonight. Let's dominate. And let's do a parlay here, guys. So we're in here. We got our guys in here. EC Niv, TG Proby, Michael Larson, Chad Picard. I know he doesn't pronounce his name like that, but we'll give you a little French, Chad. And so, look, let's put together a 6 or 7 leg. I'm feeling 7. I like the number 7. 6 is, I don't know about 6.
I'm going to start this off the right way. So are we doing Q&A first? Or are we doing parlay?
Let's do the parlay, then we'll do Q&A.
Yeah, so I got to start this off with Pat Spencer. I finally found him. He is on DraftKings. Sorry, I use a bunch of different books. So I was looking at, he's not on all of them, but a lot of people use, DraftKings and those that are available. Someone else said it was also on Prize Picks. So you can use different sites. Anyways, his line tonight shows a huge overvalue. It's a PRA line of 9.5. Absolutely love over 9.5. He averages 5 on the season. Books are saying double it. Bang! Love that value. Pat Spencer over 9.5 PRA Burnsy. That's pick number 1. And I'll throw it to you right away, Shark.
Yeah, it's such an interesting bet because, I mean, you probably heard the story about Pat Spencer playing college lacrosse.
I don't think I have. I haven't followed him too closely until this season.
So he played college lacrosse at Loyola, Maryland. I think he was like a defenseman or something because he's like 6'5". He was like an All-American lacrosse player. He transferred to Northwestern. I think he played like a year of basketball and then like grinded international and like G League, and he's in the freaking pros. Like, are you kidding me?
Because he's 28 and it's his first season. Yeah.
It's like an incredible story. Like, it reminds me of Chris Hogan. If you guys follow Chris Hogan, he was a wide receiver in the NFL. He played college lacrosse at Penn State, ended up as a wide receiver in the NFL. I mean, and this is not like Antonio Gates and these guys playing college basketball and becoming like Hall of Fame tight ends. We're talking about like obscure lacrosse players who just like elevate to like principal players. I mean, the Warriors are the best NBA team in the last 15 years. They're a dynasty. And Chris Hogan played for the freaking Patriots. He won a ring. I mean, guys, go play lacrosse with him.
I was literally gonna say, go play lacrosse, kids. No.
What a story. I heard that when early season, I was like, who is this guy? And I looked it up. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Loyola Maryland lacrosse? How did he get here? I mean, just goes to show you in life, you commit to the energy of your body and your soul. You can go for anything and find it. Let's find this damn parlay. We're going with the Wolves 100% money line. I think, what's our line there? Minus 400.
Do you like full game or do you like first half?
To be honest, I like it all. Let's go minus 500 first half money line and game money line. That'll be 2 legs.
Can you do both? I don't know if you can parlay. I don't think you can do that.
Well, then let's just go with the game because we always go with the game.
Yeah, let's just do that.
So you gave just Spencer, and so we only have 2?
Just Spencer so far.
Okay,
Yep.
let's definitely do Draymond Green points under.
Okay, I like it. Let's see what that line is. I like to fact check so we don't misquote. It's 9.5. I'm showing an underline there as well, so I like that. I'm going to go Alexander Walker over 4.5. My obscure guys are going to come through tonight, Shark. I'm vibing it. I'm vibing it a lot. So that's 4 picks.
I agree 100%. What about Rudy Gobert over rebounds?
Oh, I like that. Okay, what's it at? We got 10.5, which is a high line for him, to be honest. I know he usually gets double. Still, it's 10.5. It is an overline. The average is 10.9 on the season, so I guess it's accurate.
It's like kind of on the mean, but I don't know if that, as we said, I'm not sure if that applies to the playoffs. I think that's just sort of like, at this point, anecdotal. Also, something that I picked up in the press conference, Julius Randle was talking about it. They got out-rebounded in game 1, 51-41. So Finch was talking about their lack of transition offense. Edwards was talking about their horrible field goal percentage. And Randle was talking about how they got out-rebounded. I mean, maybe that speaks to Randle over rebounds. What do we think about that?
Yeah, I actually like that more. It's at
like
6.5. Let's take that.
I like that more because I think Gobert is like obviously so well noted for rebounds.
Right.
It's probably really sharp. And he's like automatic to get like somewhere in the 8, 9, 10, 11 range. Whereas I think the buy low on Randle is like immense.
Wait, this is great. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen his downward trajectory. Playoffs. He has only gone over 6.5 one time against the Lakers. Otherwise, it's like 3, 4, 5, 5, 5. Perfect buy low scenario here. So, Bernsey, just so we got this, it's Pat Spencer over 9.5 PRA. So far, it's Timberwolves money line It's Draymond Green under 9.5 points. It's Nickeil Alexander-Walker over 4.5 points. It's Julius Randle over 6.5 rebounds. And that leaves us with one or two more yet.
I think we want to take the game under.
Or should we? We don't usually fuck with team totals, but I love the Warriors under. Man,
yeah. What's the number?
This morning it was 95.5, but I'd have to check live. That was like 9 hours ago.
I'd rather have that just because if the Wolves go nuts here and shoot like 60% from the field and somehow score like 125, they could pull it over by like 2 points. So I think let's go with Warriors team total under.
Love it. It's I'm just checking it live here. Where is it? So much you can bet on. Team total. Oh, it's moving down. I love it. Technically, if we're doing live, we'll go under 94.5.
All right, perfect. So that's 6.
That's 6.
All right. Do we have another one that's viable, or would it be a reach?
Let me see what's on my card. I've got. I guess that's pretty much. I have one or two. I have one more VIP, but I don't love anything else for the parlay. I like it where it's at, but we can go 7 if you want.
Let me see if I see anything that stands out here. As I said, I really think Draymond's going to have a down game score on the ball tonight. I kind of feel like Naz Reid is going to go over his points.
Okay, I'm game with that. Oh, it is an over line. 12.5 it's up to. I love that.
Yeah, he didn't. I mean, he played like reasonably. What did he do in game 1? He looked okay in the second half, I think, right?
Yeah, he ended up scoring 19. I say it's an over line simply from the prior series. He was at like 11.5 all series, but
you know what? I gave a free play on Instagram. Want to go with this? I want to see if the line is still up. FanDuel had a line this morning for Anthony Edwards' first quarter points over 6.5, and we didn't talk about it yet on this show. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, please do. It's @Wylose_shark on Instagram. I give free plays on there as well. But the key point here is Edwards is obviously the energy leader of this team. Finch called him out in the press conference. As I said, he wants to be Jordan. He looks like he's got the game of Jordan. I mean, he has the same like body type as Michael Jordan did from his prime. And it's like if he played so poorly in the first quarter. Edwards had 0 points. He was 0 for 6 from the field. He started 0 for 8 from the field. He only had 1 point. And he's going to come out with hyper aggression scoring the ball. I honestly think Edwards has 10 points in the first quarter. I want to just see if that line is still available here because it was juiced at like 150. They usually move that up at some point to like 7.5.
I like that. That's because even if it's a little juicy, that's fine. It's our last leg.
Yeah, let me just see if I can find it. Hold on one sec. All right, player points. First quarter. I think most people in our chat, guys, if you're in the chat, type in what book you use primarily, just out of curiosity. I know we got some Hard Rock guys in Florida, obviously FanDuel, DraftKings, MGM. Just type in what you guys go to as your primary book. I'm curious as I look this up.
Yeah, no, that would be helpful to know because I always try to be consistent so that we can all bet the same thing. Like it's no fun to ride solo and have someone else sit on the bench or get a different line. So
right, exactly. So I got Hard Rock, FanDuel, DKFD, Bet365.
DraftKings. Wow, yeah, dude. What was the over 6.5 on DraftKings? Over 6.5 first quarter is now -210.
Okay, it's 6.5 -152 on FanDuel.
That's great value. Holy shit.
It's an incredible spot. When I saw it earlier, to be perfectly honest, when I saw the spot, I thought that it was like some sort of like boosted line or something. But
that's our last leg for sure. I mean, you're getting literally a 6 cent or however you want to phrase it, it's -210 on DraftKings. So like that's great. Bernsey, that's our last leg for sure. It's Edwards' first quarter over 6.5 points.
Yeah, and like honestly, when I saw this morning, I honestly thought it was like a promo line. like, like deposit bonus line, like it's going to hit, like just get people to deposit and then people dust off the money later on in the night on some other trash bet. But like, this is like, if he doesn't go over, I would be actually shocked. Like, I think he's going to come out and shoot like 7 or 8 times in the first quarter, at least.
I love it.
All right, so there's our parlay. It's on the screen. Pat Spencer over 9.5 PRA. T-Wolves money line. Draymond under points. Walker over points. Julius Randle over rebounds. Warriors team total under and first quarter points over 6.5. It is a great looking parlay. We will take some questions. I know we've been talking about every angle in this game. We love to engage you guys. I know we've covered a lot, but if you have any specific questions, I mean, the other day, my guy Ben Rash actually put us onto Ant over rebounds and assists. I think that hit. He had like 10 or 11 rebounds alone. So that must have hit. I think it was a great look. Sometimes we want to ask questions, so you guys give us your thoughts. It helps all of us. So let's do questions. We'll do 4 or 5, then we'll get out of here.
Practice? We're talking about practice, man.
Questions on a Thursday. Let's see what we got here. Brent, do we have anything in the start? Or if you guys have any questions, please drop it. We are open for business. This game only. We're going to keep the rest for tomorrow and obviously the weekend. So what do we have? And our guy Jay Williams says Ant had 14 rebounds. So
yeah, and on that point, I think any Timberwolves starter, even though we said it could be a blowout, the rebound total overs is probably a good bet for anyone. Like if Ant had 14 rebounds in a loss, like there's gonna be a lot of rebounding opportunity in this game for Warriors misses from guys that are just trying to get the ball in the hoop without Steph on the floor. So anyways, I like pretty much every over for T-Wolves rebounds. This is a team total though, is the question. Sorry. So like I am definitely on the under for Warriors team total. I'd leave this one for you, Shark. I don't have a take. I don't even know what the line is for Minnesota.
Yeah, can we get a line? The game that I do see this correlated to, as I said, is the game against Denver last year in Game 6. They did put up 115. They played a great offensive basketball game. So anything over 105.
It's 105. You must do this for a living, Shark. It's 105.5.
There you go. I would take over there. I think they get 110 minimum. All right, Buddy Hield over 14.5 points. I mean, this is an interesting conversation. Look, what do you think?
This is an interesting conversation. So I said that I don't think Buddy Hield goes off. So I don't think he's going to make like 7 threes. But I will say the line in itself, I'm just pulling it up on my phone because it's an over line. My phone's freezing. I just want to pull up Hield's profile for you guys because he averages just 11 on the year. So like 14 is a high line for him. It's an over line. It's a stay away for me because I don't see him getting super hot from 3. But this is showing you that his shot attempt number is going to be high. He's going to get probably 12 to 15 shots up. So I wouldn't say it's a bad bet, Matt. If you go over, that's fine. I'd slightly lean over, but I just love everything under for Warriors. So I'm going to stay away on that one.
Yeah, and I think this actually kind of jumps into that point I was making about how Minnesota, when they want to play, they can honestly play defense like the best team in the league. Yeah. And without Curry in there, they're going to be out there defending Buddy and Jimmy Butler like relentlessly. I mean, you saw it in the fourth quarter. They bring Naz Reid out. The guy's incredibly long. And he's also, I mean, very agile, I would say, for a 7-foot fringe guy. So he's going to be out on the perimeter. Like I'm telling you guys, they're going to come out. And also, just as another point, like if you see some of these desperation teams the last few nights in the first quarter, it is defense. It really is. Like even Boston last night. I mean, Boston lost the game, but they held the Knicks to 13 points in the first quarter. And OKC came out up like 25 points in the first quarter. Of course, they scored the ball amazingly, but they held Denver to like 22 or something. So it's really defensive intensity, and I think that's going to be all over Buddy Hield. So as you said, he's going to shoot the ball, but if there's nobody to be a decoy effectively for him, he's the number one shooter. They're going to be all over him. So I would lean under, but I think it's going to be tight. I think he could finish with like 12 or 13 or even 14.
Yeah, and that's the thing is he's not a shot creator. He's not very good at dribbling, shooting off the dribble. He's a catch and shoot guy. That's why he works in this offense. When he's asked to do more, he usually doesn't have a big night. Efficiency wise. For sure.
Our guy KN says Celtics in 6, laugh out loud. He's either a Celtics fan or he's completely joking.
But trolling him. Yeah.
All right. Do we have any more questions? A couple more here. All right. Jay Williams, what is that hat? It looks like a Sixers hat. That is a sick hat, bro. Love that hat. I have a couple sweet Sixers hats. Won't get to wear those until the regular season next year, but hell of a print there. I've been noticing rebounds are working games. So Shark Luke, 9 rebounds, Gobert 10.5, 18 points, Butler under 27.5 points. I'm not entirely sure where we're going with that. Luke.
Me neither. I don't entirely get it, but I just said though that I love all T-Wolves rebounds. So you could get me a Gobert over and over. I do like that.
Oh, I see. He typed a different one. He said, I noticed rebounds are winning games.
Oh, got it.
Okay. I see. So he's basically saying
he's basically saying everyone's cold shooting the ball. Rebounds are aplenty. I like that take, Jay. That's a pretty sharp take. So far in the playoffs, I bet if you did that for every game, you'd be very profitable. So yeah, I would not talk you out of that. I like a lot of rebounding overs again tonight.
Yeah, and again, I think as I said, when Julius Randle made the comment in the press conference about them getting crushed on the boards, there's going to be a legitimate focus coming into the game to rebound and box out and bring the physicality. So that's why we have Randle over rebounds in the parlay. Gobert, as we said, we think obviously that's what he does. I mean, you're never going to take an under on Gobert rebounds, particularly in a game where they're looking to rebound the ball. I think it's all over. So I think that's all sharp stuff there. Kuminga over 7.5 points, gone over this line every single game Curry's been out. I'm assuming that's in the regular season.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd have to fact check you, Ivan, but I believe you. Kuminga gets more minutes. He hasn't played a lot this postseason, though. Like, Kerr has shown that he does not have confidence in Kuminga in big-time minutes. So tonight, with Curry out, he should get more tick. I mean, I'm just going to pull up the stats. Look, he didn't even play half the Rockets series. He played in 3 games. One of them was 7 minutes. He did play 13 minutes, though, last game against the T-Wolves near the end.
What about game 6 or game 5 at Houston, the blowout game where they played all the guys in the fourth quarter when they sat the starters?
Oh, that's a good question because I don't know. It's only showing dates. I don't know which one was game 5. He only played in 3 games.
All right, hold on. Let me check. But, the Kuminga thing is actually kind of bizarre because, if you remember in the regular season, he was definitely in the rotation. He was looking good. He's athletic. He's honestly probably the most athletic front court player.
The dude averaged 15 points this season. It's crazy. Yeah.
I don't know. All right. So game 5 at Houston, Wednesday, April 30th. Let's see what happened here.
Oh, he didn't play. Yeah.
Okay. Moses Moody had 25. All late, though. The Warriors scored 67 points in the second half. This is how much of a blowout this game could be. Warriors in that game scored 67 points in the second half and still got beat by 15.
To answer this question, I like the over here, Ivan or Ivan, however you pronounce it, because Kuminga's clearly not an important player for Steve Kerr in this playoffs, which means he'll probably play him in a blowout garbage time. So I actually do I lean over on that one.
Yeah. He will play. It's going to be all the guys. You're going to get some value on all these reserves. Quentin Post, Guy Santos, obviously Luke said Gary Payton II, Kevin Knox. Talk about a journeyman kid out of Kentucky there. I remember he was drafted by the Knicks. Never panned out at all. In that game at Houston, he did play 18 minutes, all garbage minutes. Took 13 shots. Kevin Knox, 13. Dude, that's probably the most he's ever taken in his career.
That's hilarious. I don't know if you can bet his line, honestly, but what a nice take that would be. Yeah, 13 shot attempts. Holy cow.
Yeah,
it's almost a shot attempt per minute.
And also, he became Anthony Edwards for a game. But also talk about inefficient scoring. He took 13 shots and had 3 free throw attempts, and he only scored 14 points. With that level of attempts, he should have gotten at least 18. So that's why he's been on the bench his entire career. All right, we'll take one more question and we'll get out of here. Who scores first basket? That is the ultimate coin flip.
What a fun one. Yeah.
Edwards is so obvious. Of course, it's dependent on winning the tip. Gobert has a huge edge in the tip. Honestly, I could see Gobert winning the tip. Ant goes down, quickly drives to the hoop and lays it in.
It has to be a T-Wolves player. Let's just put it that way. If you're going to bet your money, your pizza money on a first basket, it has to be T-Wolves tonight.
I could see Edwards just, a quick tip off. Edwards says immediately, I'm going to the hoop and just lays it in. Yeah, why not?
set the tone for the game. As a last question for every penny here, I like the under here. I do. I think Butler's going to have to be aggressive offensively, and I just don't see Golden State scoring a ton early, which means it's just going to be hard for any guys to get assists, to be honest. So I'd lean under for sure. Like your take here.
Yeah, for sure. And last one, Johnny Cham says, what total points we take in the game? It's going to be tough. It's an under number. It's an under number. I think the Wolves are going to score a lot. The Warriors are going to score a little. So do what you will with that. And that's it for this one. Luke, give us the words and I'll close it out.
I love it. We can talk 45 minutes over one game and you guys stay engaged. We appreciate it. Always tap the like button, comment, subscribe. Free Picks channels are in the description below. We appreciate you guys every day that you're on here with us. We're not going anywhere. It's Shark and Shuey. Let's go. Oh, wait.
Book it and let's dominate. That's NBA Player Performance on this Thursday. Let's dominate this card, guys. We appreciate you guys in the chat immensely. Cash those tickets and always do 4 things. Stay strong, stay fast, stay disciplined, and let's dominate.
Cut my life into